All right. Okay, I should be live. Okay. Just let me know if you guys can hear me. I think I have everything set up correctly. Yeah, okay. I'm just laughing. It's been quite a morning. Happy 11/11, everyone. You were live. Thanks. Okay, thank you very much, Spiritual Gangsters. Okay, so I think I feel like I need to clear the energy here a little bit this morning. Before I go live, I always have a little bit of anxiety, but today with the 11/11 energies, Jupiter retrograde, I feel like I need to. Thank you. All right, thanks, John Anderson. I feel like I need to clear the energy, so we're gonna take a moment because I have a singing bowl, and I'm gonna clear the energies because I need to do that, and maybe all of you need a little bit of clearing as well. Okay. Okay. I think that's a little bit better. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put up my other screen here. Just give me uno momento. You can't, okay. Let me know if there's issues with the audio. I thought it was, I thought you guys could hear me before, but okay, so as of the moment, it's loud and clear. We're good, okay. I'm just pulling up the chat on my phone, so just give me a moment, everyone. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so what I'm talking about today is Jupiter going retrograde. This was a question that someone asked me during my last live stream, and I completely forgot to even answer it. So I figured today, since Jupiter's going retrograde, let's answer it today. Why not? Okay, there we go. All right. Yep. Hold on. Shoot. Yeah, just give me a second, guys, so I can make this a little bit so you so I'm in the screen and you guys can see this all at the same time. Oh, wait. How is everybody feeling today? Ah, you know, when the planets go retro, and it's not all planets when they go retrograde that you feel it. I think with Mercury retrograde and now Jupiter, I feel like it's sometimes a little bit of chaos, almost on steroids. Maybe that's just me. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me just fix this a little bit real quickly. Supposed to do this beforehand, but I did not. 50. No. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, that should be good, right? technical difficulties here in the background. Just give me one more moment. Okay, that should be good now. All right, thanks guys for bearing with me. Jupiter retrograde. So let's lock it down. Okay, here we go. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure on the right screen. Last stream, I was not on the correct screens at all. All right, so Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. It goes retrograde today. Obviously, it's at 25 degrees of Aries. Degrees mean 25 degrees is the energy of Aries. So this is a active retrograde. A lot of things that occur under this Jupiter retrograde will be very active, taking action for things to get things done. Jupiter itself is expansion, growth, but when it goes retrograde, the energy turns inward. On a personal level, moving inward to find realignment within yourself. It could be your philosophies on things, spiritual types of things, just how you view the world could be reevaluated. But I'm looking at today's Jupiter retrograde on a geopolitical and global level. And it's bringing attention towards home protection, home meaning domestic home fronts in different countries, emotional truths. And it's retrograde in the sign of Cancer. So Cancer has to do with being very protective, domestic home front that it is being very protective of, and it's emotional. Cancer is a water sign, so the emotions that people could be acting on or reflecting on or acting on, again, because Jupiter is at 25 degrees going retrograde, they could be acting on their emotions, acting before thinking about how their emotions are going to influence what they're doing. And this is really specifically for heads of countries, heads of states, heads of government leaders. Could be more acting with their emotions, not so much with logic during this time. Okay. So Jupiter, okay, again, like I said, it's retrograde today, 11:41. One thing actually I'm just realizing about this right now, that it went retrograde at 11:41. We have this 11:11 portal going on, very close to that 11:11 energies. It could mean nothing, but I really feel that it's very significant that it's happening on a day where the numbers are very significant in many ways. It could be spiritual, but I know that governments, people of, I want to say shadow governments, but people in higher authorities, people who we see, who we don't see, I feel do use astrology. They do use the numerology to do things that line up, that the energies line up so it works out in their benefits. So I don't know. I just feel that this Jupiter retrograde going on, a lot of events will coincide very closely to these energies. And it'll station direct on March 10th, 2026 in Cancer at 15 degrees. 15 degrees is the degree of Gemini. Okay, so we'll come back to that when Jupiter is going direct, but Gemini is an air sign, very fast, very quick moving. So things towards the end of this retrograde, as it's beginning to station direct, could begin to move quickly, move forward from everything that was being reflected on during this period. And I do feel that, you know, planets, the astrology, the alignments of everything, it's as if everything has been done with this divine plan, this divine alignment. They don't, it doesn't just happen coincidentally, or I feel like without thought. It's like divine alignment. So the fact that Jupiter is going direct on March the 10th, that is right after Saturn and Aries will be conjunct in the sign. Saturn and Neptune will be conjunct in the sign of Aries at 0 degrees. I just feel this all coincides. So it could be whatever maybe is happening during that time in February. Jupiter direct is pushing the plans forward, bringing the inward reflection to the outward reflection, and how that interacts with Saturn Neptune conjunct in Aries, I feel is going to be a very major big part of a lot of things. But we'll come back to that. That was completely side note of my presentation. Okay. All right, guys. So where are we from here today? Hi from USA. Oh, I'm in the USA as well. Hi from Southeast USA. Ah, fantastic. I'm in the Southeast USA as well. All right, let's move to the next page. Okay. This is the chart of when Jupiter goes retrograde. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see this chart clearly, but I have some things written down, and when something happens with astrology, like say you were born, that's your birth chart, that is a reflection and like a blueprint of how, you know, your life. Jupiter going retrograde at 25 degrees at the time it's going retrograde is, I feel, a blueprint for this retrograde period. Okay, so I already went over the 25 degrees, which is Aries. It's aggressive individuals taking actions. It's squaring Chiron in Aries. Jupiter is squaring Chiron in Aries at 25 degrees. Now, the degree that Jupiter is going retrograde at is Aries degree. It's squaring Chiron in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees. This, I feel, is also very significant because of this Aries degree that Jupiter is at, squaring Chiron, this wounding in the sign of Aries. It's like it's really shining a spotlight at healing old wounds, healing past conflicts. Aggressive action could come from this, trying to heal old wounds or old wounds coming up. The 22 degrees is a very critical degree. It's to I'm trying to say different words here so nothing gets flagged here. To end something, or to end or to be ended, I guess, is the best words I can say for that. But it's a very sharp degree. It is it's the Cancer degree. So healing the wounds of the past with other countries. It could be in aggressive ways because of this, in this Aries sign of Aries, taking action to heal the wounds of different countries, heal the wounds of people in different countries. But I do feel at the end of this retrograde, things will be overcome in between that time. How that happens, it could be chaotic at times. And Jupiter is actually trying to Saturn retrograde as it's going retrograde. This is positive because it is leaning into peace initiatives, taking responsibilities for different conflicts, different old wounds, we'll say, going back into the Chiron, but taking a reality check of what is going on? How can we get past this? Looking at things from a grounded perspective. So Saturn here, even though it is retrograde, it is helping to bring some grounding into the Jupiterian energies that we're in. Saturn does bring reality checks, so it could be bringing in reality checks to different situations that are coming back up to find a solution to. Some of those reality checks could be a bit up in the face, could be in ways that people are not expecting and are not comfortable with. But again, a reality check is a reality check, and it's showing us how we can move forward in a grounded way, in the best way possible for people. Let's move on. Okay. So there's different themes with Jupiter in retrograde. Now, one of the themes is rise of national identity and protectionism, protecting the home front, protecting your land that you live in. Domestic issues over global expansion. People could be wanting to invade into different countries to expand their borders, and that will obviously cause a conflict. And that, I think, is where old wounds could come up, is where some countries who have tried to expand their borders or expand their dominance over other countries, I feel that that is something that could be coming up. Border, immigration, homeland security dominate the headlines. That is already happening. One thing I did forget to say is that Jupiter retrograde, even though it's going retrograde today, we have been seeing and feeling the energies both probably for the last, I'm going to say the last month, we've been feeling these energies as well. So yes, border, migration, homeland security, that has obviously been in the headlines, especially in the United States. We've had, they have ICE, and in Europe, I know there's migration issues, but yeah, there's definitely this is in the headlines a lot. However you feel about it is whatever, but those headlines are in the headlines. Heightened patriotism, nostalgia. Yes, people are, what was it? It was in United Kingdom. There was a whole march on I want to say it was against the migrants coming in and taking over and being mad and standing up against the people of the UK not being able to fly their flags. I believe that's how it went. And there was that huge march in London. People wanting to keep their heritage of their country, of who they are. And governments adopt more protective defense stance. This could be against other countries because Jupiter does represent foreign countries, foreign travel, foreign relations. So we could see defensive talks with other countries trying to protect their borders, their home front. Or it could even be more protective rules, laws, and regulations, because Jupiter does do laws, rules, laws. Regulations maybe is more of a Saturn thing, but laws, justice for the people, perhaps to protect the people who live in the actual country. I do have examples though too. Possible scenarios for this. Tightened border control, stricter immigration laws, increased tariff or protectionist trade policies. The tariffs, the tariffs, I feel that we can see those already. The United States has the tariffs that, with other countries, and other countries are responding with their own tariffs. That could be something that is being rethought, perhaps maybe rethinking how to do these tariffs, or there could be possibly tariff, I'm going to say tariff wars, but tariff issues with, okay, you're doing this to me, I'm going to do this to you. This is my counteract. Again, that emotional thinking with your emotions and not your logic will be very strong here. So we could see people going back and forth, doing things to protect their home front, their country, for the better of them. But that could turn into this back and forth. and we have seen that these tariffs going back and forth, it might not have the effect that the governments think it could want, and could land up affecting and influencing the people more. Focus on domestic production, on global supply chains, national rhetoric and politics or media, and revisiting historical territorial claims and sovereignty disputes. I don't know if you can hear that in my background, but they are doing construction next door to me, so I apologize if you can hear that. So some things that are actually happening now is EU and US emphasis on reshoring manufacturing to protect domestic jobs and supply chains. India strengthening domestic tech and agricultural policies to reduce foreign independence. I don't even think I mentioned this, but wanting to obviously protect the domestic front, but taking measures to be more independent, to not have to depend on other countries so much, also could be something like we're seeing here. Poland reinstating border controls with Germany and Lithuania, part of a domestic security and migration focus stance. And Mexico imposing tariffs up to 50% on Chinese cars and other imports to protect domestic industry and jobs. Which I did not even know that they were doing that. Germany tightening asylum rules, border controls, reflecting stronger national protection, policing of migration. So again, I feel like the migration issue is going to become more of a stronger focus. How it turns out, we'll see. At some point, there is a humanitarian crisis in different places, but it could become more intensified, and possibly how to resolve it could be from a humanitarian point of view. However that plays out, I don't know, but that's a scenario that could play out. Like, okay, there's all these migrants, we don't know what to do with them. Now it's a humanitarian crisis. How do we fix it? Not how do we protect our country from migrants. Okay. What else we got going on here? Okay, so let's see. Anybody? Okay. Yes, and I will come back to questions in a few moments. I'm just going to get through my little slides here because trying to stay on topic. Okay, emotional politics, global relations. This is a big one. As I said before, politics, deeply emotional, sentiment-driven. Governments, heads of governments and countries could be acting, again, that Aries energy coming in, acting with their emotion and not their logic, doing things, reacting impulsively to things that happen to protect their countries. Leaders could be appealing to family values, heritage, shared memories of, things that have happened in their country. Public opinion, collective mood is shape global decisions. So the people, I feel, could have a strong opportunity to shape the decisions on a collective and global level. I feel that people will come together more to stand up, to have their opinions heard, and actually have governments listen to them, not ignore not ignore them in the way that they have done in the past. Moving inward with Jupiter could be expanding how people come together, you know, the opposite of expansion is not expansion, but that could be something that's bringing people closer together to have a voice and opinion that is louder than and stronger than the individuals who now feel that they have all the control and power. Foreign policy, reactive and emotionally charged. I think I went over that before with the politics being emotional. Different foreign policies could be coming up due to their emotions. And again, not using so much logic, but reacting to emotional things that set them off. Old alliances, historical conflicts could resurface. Again, the emotions is a huge deal in this, that is going to be dictating and acting to different situations. So especially with old conflicts coming up, that could be something that is triggered, and then these emotions just override everything. For example, you know, there could be a piece, what the heck is it called? It's a, you know, when two countries come together and say, okay, we're not going to war anymore. We're going to put I forget what that word is called. Something could happen and trigger that country, and they could say, you know what, this happened, and they cancel out that peace agreement that they had. And I know I can't think of the word right now. I want to say it's not an armistice. It's a, I forget. Israel just did this with President Trump, and I can't think of the word that it's called. But I could see something happening in Israel, or one of the countries breaks it because something happened, and they're like emotionally charged and like, you know what, I don't care. I'm canceling this peaceness that we're supposed to be having, and I'm going to go and invade or do whatever I'm going to do because I emotionally feel like I need to do this for my country. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that I could see that as a scenario. Mass empathy, outrage, shape international narratives overnight. Yeah, I kind of just covered that. I feel that's, you know, outrage, massive outrage. Again, it's these emotions. It could be empathy, it could be compassion, but emotions, it could be go from 0 to 1,000 overnight, changing how people, alliances, and different conflicts could be shaped at this time. Okay, possible scenarios here. Humanitarian intervention driven by outrage, withdrawal, driven by public fear, diplomatic breakdowns, escalate relations. The leaders could be expressing frustration, humiliation, moral injury, causing alliances to shift. That is something I feel like that we need to really keep an eye on. Alliances shifting and changing. And we can see that already happening with different countries. Yes, we can see that happening with different countries moving to different sides with different people and countries. Nations appealing to a global audience via diplomacy, public statements on social media, campaigns, aiming to win the hearts and minds and emotions of people in their countries. Some examples, India diplomatic campaigns, excuse me, after its conflict with Pakistan. After military strikes, India launched a global outreach effort to reframe their narrative and appeal emotionally to international allies seeking legitimacy and support. And U.S. is reported to be engaging in a campaign promoting right-wing allies in Europe, reshaping the transatlantic relations through cultural and emotional challenges. Something that I just thought of was allies changing, I think it was in Cambodia and I can't think of the other country right now. Maybe it wasn't Cambodia. It was in Asia. There was two countries that were fighting against each other, and they just recently came to a peace alliance. Okay. Food, housing, and security, I think, is one of the biggest things here due to treaty. Okay, thank you. Ceasefire. That's the word I was looking for before. Thank you. Food, housing, and security. Housing and food, I think, is one of the biggest things here that we need to be aware of. Jupiter does also represent housing. Housing markets has housing prices. So there could be a focus on housing markets, food, agricultural, basic food needs. Nations rethink food security and domestic production. Inflation and resource management become a key in shifts in real estate and land policies. Inflation, I want to make say something about. Uranus just moved back into Taurus. I believe was the day it was moving back into Taurus. Uranus in Taurus causes inflation. So with Jupiter retrograde now, I hope this doesn't happen, but I feel like we could see more inflation, especially in our food prices. And again, I hope that's not something that happens because inflation is already ridiculous and out of control. But for the time being, for the rest of this year, we could see inflated prices of food and other things beginning to spike up again. And real estate and land policies. With Jupiter retrograde, real estate and housing prices, with it going retrograde, possibly we could see prices of houses or in real estate moving downwards, possibly. And I say that because it's retrograde, it's moving inward. It is not expanding prices, it's contracting prices. That would be great for many, many people because, housing, even rent, but I'm focusing more on housing market. And the prices of houses could hopefully come down. Now, with that, does that mean there's a housing bubble burst or other issues within the finances that cause the housing bubbles to burst? We had the 2008. That I feel like is a different. I feel like now if houses prices came down, it was something to do with finances. I feel like it's going to be on a different scenario than from 2008 and 2009 with that financial crash. But housing market, housing prices, whether it's a bubble bursting or prices coming down for some different reasons, that is something definitely to watch. And some possible scenarios. Governments expand housing subsidies, public housing to stabilize citizens, possibly not enough housing for people, and we could see that in different countries. Europe, and I don't know what country, and I wish I did. I know they're having issues on having enough housing for the people in that country. Countries boost domestic food production and limit the exports. Limiting exports could be due to, could be something tied into tariffs, possibly, or perhaps even because of the inflation prices, perhaps it's too much to export to different countries and maybe they need the food at home to make it more affordable for different countries. Investments in supply chains, disaster resilience, protect food security. Real estate regulations shift towards social housing, controlled development, and rising basic need cost trigger policy interventions. Yes, like I said before, the inflation, rising the cost of basic needs, we can see that it is already out of control. There's different people I know in the United States here that their electric bill is absolutely disgusting. And that could be from different things. I won't get into it. I want to say I think those AI farms have something to do with it, but regardless of that, basic needs costs, there definitely needs to be something done about it, because Uranus and back into Taurus, inflation will likely keep going up. Some current event examples: Haiti food crisis. Over half the population is facing high levels of food insecurity, 6 million people at risk by mid-2026. And it stems from economic recession and disruptions in agricultural and supply chains. Jamaica is having a humanitarian issues from hurricane that recently just was there. That's another example. I don't have it here. And another example is Gaza Strip famine declaration. More than 17 million people facing hunger, severe food shortages, and humanitarian aid cuts. I mean, there's a lot that can be said for that one, because I know people in other people who have tried to come in and try to give, send food or drop off food, but they were intervened and told to turn around and leave and not help. So hopefully this could be remedied and people can get the food that they need and humanitarian aid that they need. Collective healing and cultural reflection. I feel like this is going to really help help find a solution to many of the issues that we could be seeing and facing. Healing the world by healing the home. So a global focus on ancestral roots and reconciliation of who we are, or where we came from. Finding like, I love where I come from. I love who I am. I love my ancestral roots. Finding pride in it. Movements emerge for truth, reparations, and cultural healing. People coming out, wanting the truth of things, wanting to be able to heal cultures, but I feel like it's more healing the people of their country. Healing I really feel like this is more towards, again, the inflations, the lies, and the different, I can't think of my words today, the shadiness that goes along with governments. The spending that they do, the money that they send to different places that is not honest, that is, I guess we could say, corrupt, but wanting truth for that, wanting what people pay for. You pay your taxes and everything else, but they want to me, the reparations would be, they want what they paid for in their country. They don't want to send money to somewhere that is bankrupting their country. Bring the money home. Support the home front before you support foreign places where money is going into, and a lot of that could be, washing money for different reasons that some governmental officials are a bit shady with what they do with their money and how they make it. Collective empathy grows, shift towards care-based leadership, which I think is very important and what we need. And the world begins to define home and belonging at every level. And I think that the migrants, shifts, and all of that will be a tie into that. Some examples: truth and reconciliation initiatives to address past injustices. Public memorials, ceremonies honoring silenced groups. And this could be, I feel like, any groups, any past injustices. It could be, well, let me get up to my current events and we'll show you what I mean by that. Education reforms highlighting different marginalized histories. Educational reforms, I feel, is going to marginalized histories, I feel, is not in the way that most people think that that word is saying. I think it is for our education system today. I know here, especially in the United States, needs to be changed. It needs to be changed, needs to be just redone. And I feel like marginalized histories is the children, the generations of children who have had to go through the education system and maybe were ignored, maybe were overlooked for how they learn. You know, there's a lot of children now that have learning disabilities or can't read at their grade level. And I do attribute that to how they're being taught, not so much what they're being taught to an extent, but how they're being taught. So I feel like educational reforms, highlighting these marginalized histories of children who learn in different ways, audio, visual, speaking, hands-on. I feel like that is the way that it will be reformed to include all different types of learning. Because again, all children learn in different ways, not just in the way that they're teaching. And maybe teaching different history, not the same history, but more history that really is the true history, and not just highlighting different little bits and pieces of our history, really getting deeper into it to teach us about what has happened so we learn from the past to make better decisions in the future. Cultural restoration programs, grassroots healing efforts, storytelling circles, and intergenerational dialogue. Okay. Current events have going on is National Day for Truth, Reconciliation in Canada, honoring children who have never returned home and survivors of residential schools. A national commitment to reflection, cultural acknowledgement, and healing. In Australia, Victoria passed its first formal treaty with Indigenous traditional owners, including truth-telling, curriculum change, and official acknowledgement of Indigenous identity. Kenya's Truth, Justice Reconciliation Commission investigated decades of historical injustices, police, political violence, and social divisions to promote national unity. Bolivia, the Avelino Signani Elizardo Perez education law, and I don't think I pronounced that correctly, is a major reform centering Indigenous languages, knowledge, and culture of the national curriculum. And Peru's Truth Reconciliation Commission examined the internal conflict of the 1980s and 90s to build historical record of human right abuses and recommended reforms and reparations. A lot of healing, I think, will be going on. Key takeaway from this is to reevaluate emotional foundations of political and power, prioritize compassion over expansion, rebuild security from within, lead with care, not conquest. I think that we're going to see a lot of changes with this Jupiter retrograde. And not just because it's Jupiter retrograde, but I feel like it's because of Neptune, Saturn, conjunct in Aries, Uranus, going back to Taurus, but then moving officially into Gemini. And yeah, and Saturn, Neptune. Yeah, okay. And we also have Pluto and Aquarius, wanting, highlighting humanitarian, doing good for the all, not just for doing good for the all, not just for the one or for, government corporate conglomerations to have control over everything. It's going to take a while. These changes will happen over time. They will have shifts. I feel there will be some, I feel that they will have some conflicts that will arise. Yes, I do feel that. But I also feel that there will be other conflicts that will be resolved, and hopefully, resolving for the better of things after people get past their emotions and their feelings. Okay, so that's really all I have. I'm going to look at the questions and comments. So give me a moment. Okay, let's see what's going on my screen here. Okay. All right, so let's see what we're going on for comments. Okay. Data farms. Oh, okay, yes. Yep, when I was talking about before, the data farms, yes. And Thailand with that other conflict, yes. Yeah, those data farms are really messing up people's homes, their water, their electricity, which I feel is absolutely ridiculous that they're paying for the electricity that these data farms are making. But hopefully that'll be something that will be resolved, because and actually it makes sense. No, it coincides the water that's being affected, because I don't know if they're getting less water, but their water is it's like contaminated with whatever they're doing to the land around them. And peace treaty and ceasefire. Yes, thank you. Those my words just are not seeming to come out correctly today. That could be that Mercury retrograde there. What positive effects for 11/11 on people? I feel that the positive effects for 11/11 with people is that they take, and this also has to do with Jupiter going retrograde, that they reflect inwards on themselves. They reflect on their philosophies that they have, their beliefs, even religious beliefs. They take time to go inward to find their own personal truth that does align with the world that we're moving into. Because things are changing, things are shifting, evolving, truths are coming out about things that are making people wake up and be like, wait a minute. That's what the truth is. I thought my whole life that this was what it was. And it's making people really stop and reflect on what they believed their whole lives and have new beliefs. I do feel that people will, again, expanding how they're reflecting the inside, which will reflect to the outside. Finding more peace, maybe aligning more with their life, not living in the past. And when I say living in the past, meaning living how things used to be. I used to go and I used to watch news every day, but I don't now. That's just an example, but just aligning themselves with their truths and beliefs. Living more of a truthful life that lines up with their values. Yeah, just 11 is the number 11 itself means it's a gosh, I can't think of the word. It's a power number. It's a double number. So it is asking us to it's asking us to think and feel from the higher octaves, really feel into ourselves. Hold on, let me look up exactly what the number 11 means. I should know this. Give me 1 second, guys, here. I'm gonna do it on my computer so I don't have to like move millions of screens over. Okay. 11 is diverse meanings across spiritual, religious, mathematical, cultural contexts. It's considered a master number, symbolizing spiritual awakening, intuition, enlightenment, and strong connection to one's higher self and soul mission. It was often referred to as the illuminator, the messenger, the teacher, representing individuals who are here to inspire, raise spiritual awareness. Okay. That actually, what they said about the teacher, the messenger, the teacher, Jupiter is also known as a teacher. Someone who has beliefs and they teach them to others, or share them with others, explain them to others. So I'm just looking at that as an 11-11 connection and Jupiter connection. Awakening, intuition, spiritual alignment. Yeah, okay, so 11-11, I could feel that it could be a spiritual awakening. Again, aligning with your values. Maybe your values are changing, having that just type of an awakening that you're like, you know what? I don't resonate with this anymore. This is not who I am. I need to walk with my values and who I am, align myself, be in alignment. People could be feeling lost, out of sorts, not be able to put their finger on it, not understand why, why do I feel so off lately? What's changing? What's going on? Why does things feel so chaotic? And it could be that they need to, again, reflect of what their beliefs, what their values are, how they're changing, and realign their lives with those values of who they are and who they want, what they want to leave onto the world, what they want to teach others, teach the world. And not teacher in the fact of I'm teaching school children, but teach others, share their beliefs with others. And Jupiter also has to do with freedom. Wanting freedom for all, wanting people to be able to express how they feel. So this could also, again, that awakening connection to your soul's mission could be something else that people are starting to realize, see, or become more curious about and lean into learning about that. Yeah. And today is a good day, I feel, to go inward, especially with this Jupiter retrograde. Sit with yourself, sit in silence. Who am I? Am I living the life that I want to? Am I walking my talk, my truth? Is this what I'm believing and I'm feeling? And who knows, maybe I'll have some beautiful awakening aha moments during this time. I hope I answered that question. I think I went off a little bit about it in a couple of different ways. How does Jupiter affect the crypto market? I did do a live stream on Saturday. I am breaking it down into different sections, but Jupiter retrograde I felt was going to have more of a, I forget, I believe it was more of a not expansion of prices, but a like consolidation of prices, maybe not allowing them to expand. That's what I said. Go listen to it. You'll see exactly what I said. It does last a while. You know, will it last through March? You know, it could make it not go to its all-time high that it has been. But there's other factors going on with it. So, you know what, maybe I'll make another whole entire video about that for crypto. Yeah. But watch the other one, and I know I do have more information of what I said about it, but maybe it does deserve its own video. So thank you. Timeline for this. All right, yeah, that'll have to be in a different video. Aloha, Jay. You're asking about crypto. Just clarify that if that's what that question's for. 1111 means mirror because of, yes, it does. Okay. That makes a, yes. Thank you very much. Key within the mirror. Yes. So reflecting, a lot of chaos and things are going on in our world. I feel because that 1111 is a mirror. What's going on the inside is going on the outside. So going over, looking at, readjusting how you are in the inside, finding peace within. Forgiveness of others will help to also heal the world on the outside. Healing within will help healing on the outside. And that 1111 of maybe aha moments, connecting with your true soul's purpose and soul's journey will also have a reflection on the outside. It is a peaceful energy, opening up the ability to connect to that higher self, to that oneness, that soul's calling, perhaps. It's a very good day to just go within, maybe to find answers for your own self, maybe of how to move forward, how to maybe reset certain things so you can move forward in a more of a way that aligns with yourself. Because lining on the inside will help the world on the outside. Even though we're all individuals here, all of our thoughts, our emotions, everything is connected to the unconscious collective, whether we see it and understand it or realize it or not. So the more we find peace within, the more I feel that peace will come outside, on the outside of us. I'm at work. Okay, cool. Thanks, J-Dog. You probably catch the video later. Thank you. See if I have questions. Okay. End of old king paradigm and start of a new one of freedom. Yes. This is definitely Jupiter retrograde. Could even be 1111, but I feel the combination of all the energy of the outer planets, the transits that are occurring, especially that Aries, Saturn conjunction, Saturn, Neptune conjunction in Aries is, I feel, that ending of this old paradigm that we're in, starting a new one. And that will not happen overnight. I feel it will take time. There will be some chaos in between that change, because ending one paradigm, patriarchal system, those systems that we've been using, the monetary systems, religious systems that we've been using for so long, will not just go away overnight. There will be some back and forth conflict for it, or who knows, some out of this world event could happen that makes people change all these new systems. But it will be a bit of that chaotic period in between, from the old to the new, I feel will be happening. Okay. Seems humanity is consolidating. Yes, I feel like more people are beginning to feel the same way about things, or have the same views on things from the past. Like, I'm just going to take the news, for example. I always watch the news all the time. A lot of people seem to be not watching the news, or not feeding into the BS that's being shared. There seem being able to see the truth behind the BS, behind the lies, not taking what people say, especially the news and governments, at face value, not trusting it so much. XRP video in the near future, J-Dog. Okay, yeah, that'd probably be on another live stream. I'm trying to keep crypto and other astrological, geopolitical events separate. Again, because I do go off on tangents, so I know for my own self, if I do, crypto on a separate live stream and then something like this on a different live stream, it just helps me to keep more focused. So I think that's it for today, you guys. If there's any more questions. Oh, okay, hold on. We got some more questions. From winter solstice to Valentine's Day, I feel would be when the NPC sheep will find out the truth and change. From winter solstice to Valentine's Day. So winter solstice is on the December 21st. To Valentine's Day, November the 14th. With the astrology going on, December 21st, oh gosh, there are things happening around that time. Hold on, let's get an astrology thing up here, because I think that'll help answer some of this. Hold on. Okay. Which say the summer winter solstice. And again, so much of this lines up with the Saturn Neptune in Aries, but let's see what's happening because I feel that that's like going to be a huge wake up call in ways that I don't understand, and I don't think that we fully can comprehend yet. But let's look at December real quickly. December 21st. If anyone is looking for a site to go to just to look up astrology charts and stuff like that, I use astroseek.com. There's other sites out there, there's other things, but I like it. I just like the setup of it. Okay. All right, so let's look at December. And this is just for the world, geopolitical, people. Let's look at it for people. Okay. December the 10th, Neptune is direct. That is, yes, before the solstice, but that is fantasy. That's waking up from your own fantasy, waking up from the BS that's going on, seeing the truth being revealed. What was the question? Okay, yep, truth. That, and I will go coincide with truth. That is before the solstice, but still, it's around the same time frame. New moon in Sagittarius on the okay, this is actually pretty interesting. New moon in Sagittarius. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter is currently retrograde. Yes, Jupiter is currently retrograde. And Jupiter will be ruling this new moon. Yeah. At 28 degrees of that, squaring to Neptune, squaring to Saturn. Could be dissolving the truth. Because Saturn and Neptune will be direct at this time. Neptune will be at 29 degrees of Pisces. And with both of them, Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces, dissolving, waking up, realizing what is fantasy, what is illusion, dissolving that dissolving what is not true, getting rid of what is not true, and dissolving the things that I would say are not truth, but are not what people find as their truth any further. Yeah, I think this could be definitely a big wake-up call around this new moon, especially with Venus, people's values changing, waking up to see the truth in their values. Are they truthful? Are they not? Yes, Jupiter is retrograde. Oh, and it'll also be at 22 degrees. So this could be also signaling it's that critical degree of to end or to be ended. So it could be people having these revelations about things that are true, ending belief systems, could be religious, could be philosophical, could be any type of belief that you have about anything. Saturn, Neptune in Pisces, squaring to this moon, a new dawn, a new beliefs, new philosophies. It's emotional. I don't want to say religious ending of religions. I don't think I want to go that far. But people, especially with Neptune at 29 degrees here, could be dissolving the beliefs that people have about certain religious concepts, or maybe truths are coming out about different things in religion that is reshaping what is believed, or reshaping the history of certain religions, could be, and that could be something that is waking people up to the truths of certain things. Religion is a very touchy topic, but religion also has to do with this Jupiter here. And I do feel that certain religious texts, religious texts have been hidden. Religious information has been hidden from people that doesn't let people know the full truth of certain things that have happened in the past. And those missing bits of information could be a way that certain religious people, authorities, could be I don't want to say keep holding people down, but holding people so they don't know the full truth of what has happened in the past, and to actually walk and follow the true teachings of what the Bible, what Jesus has said, what is that saying? Look under a rock and you'll find me there. Look anywhere and you can find, God, wherever. And I know this is a very controversial topic, but that going and paying, and I guess really what I'm trying to say is that you can find God, however you believe in God, anywhere. Doesn't have to just be maybe with a priest, doesn't have to just be in a certain place, or a church, or if you like to go to church, that's great. But I'm just saying you can find God anywhere, and that could be something that's coming out. And that was a complete tangent on that. Oh, hi. Hi, Energy. You're from Bassenthwaite Lake District, Diatrict, UK. Oh, hi. How are you? Capricorn 1970. Oh, I am a Capricorn rising. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, Capricorn. I don't know if you're Capricorn rising, but I'm going to guess Capricorn sun. And I'm sure you were very happy that Pluto is out of Capricorn. For all the Capricorns out there who had rising or sun in Capricorn, having Capricorn, Pluto, I'm sorry, yeah. If you had sun or rising Capricorn with Pluto in Capricorn for those years, I'm sure you feel a bit of a big relief with Pluto now in Aquarius. It's like, you know, if you made it through that time period, you can definitely make it through anything. But I think I'm going to end this stream now, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is just again about Jupiter retrograde. I thought it was a great time to do it because it is 11/11. I don't know, and I just felt inspired to do it. So if you have any other suggestions about just different topics, and again, I will be separating crypto astrology and this type of astrology topics. But if you have different, oh gosh, different topics that you'd like me to cover, leave them in the comments and I can go through them. I forgot to put this up, but, and this is more for the crypto, but I'm working up to doing, like, if someone wants to do, look at a coin, I can do like a mini reading. I'll have my Venmo or Cash App on there. Because I'm not monetized yet, but I figured, you know, if you want like a short reading, we can do it live like that. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day. Go touch some grass and, you know, just go within, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys, for watching. Like, subscribe, and share.